Good morning. This is Sentinel's RV GCR Daily Brief. Your daily read on the dee-nar, the dong, and the whole GCR. I'm Truman Vale, and it's Friday, July 3rd, 2026. Happy holiday weekend. Before we all disappear into the long weekend, let's pull together everything that landed in the last day. Sort out what's real and what's chatter. And keep our heads on straight about all of it. Yesterday's recap. Where we left off. Yesterday we were watching that July 1st window a lot of folks had circled. The idea that Iraq's cabinet would be finalized. Things would start rolling. Well, here we are on the 3rd, and what we got instead is a clearer picture of the actual timeline. Word is, Iraq's parliament is coming back for a special session on July 5th to seat the final 9 ministers. Interior, Defense, the big ones. And that Prime Minister al-Zaidi is expected to fly to Washington around mid-July to meet with President Trump. There's talk of a $400 billion energy fund on the table, the oil and gas law still in play, and this cabinet completion then Washington sequence being the real catalyst everyone's been waiting for. So the story didn't vanish, it just moved a few days forward. We're watching the 5th now, and then that mid-July trip. The chatter lighting up today. Restoration announcement and QFS finalization. All right, the big noise this morning. There is some very breathless chatter making the rounds. That today, July 3rd, marks something called the restoration announcement. The day the veil of secrecy lifts, and all these structural changes in the global financial system come into public consciousness. Tomorrow, July 5th, is supposedly the finalization of the quantum financial system, with wealth transferred to the global populace. And Monday, July 6th, is being called Year Zero, the dawn of a new era of total prosperity, GCR, QFS, the whole thing culminating. I'm going to be straight with you. Take that with a very large grain of salt. We have heard big cosmic calendar claims like this before, specific dates, grand announcements, the system flipping overnight. And historically, they have not panned out. Could there be real movement happening behind the scenes? Sure, maybe. But the idea that the entire global financial system resets visibly this weekend? That is not something I'd bet the farm on. It's exciting chatter. And we're tracking it because people are talking about it. But let's hold it very, very loosely. There's also word going around that Trump will announce the restored republic and the global currency reset on Sunday. Again, we watch it, we don't endorse it, and we definitely don't make plans around it. Iraq, the real timeline taking shape. Here's what we do have that feels more concrete, Iraq. The chatter is that Parliament reconvenes July 5th, this Sunday, to seat the final cabinet ministers, including the critical interior and defense posts. Once that's done, al-Zaidi is expected to head to Washington in mid-July. Some sources are pointing to around the 15th, to meet with President Trump. The thinking is that meeting unlocks a lot. The oil and gas law, potentially the reinstatement or revaluation of the dee-nar, and access to that big energy fund that keeps getting mentioned. There's also talk that al-Zaidi has about 14 days to finish the cabinet formation before he makes that trip, and that the government is going hard after corrupt politicians and militias, recovering trillions of dinars that were siphoned off over the last 2 decades. Word is, there's a September deadline to disarm militias and clean house. And that plan is going to be part of what al-Zaidi brings to Trump. And here's one more technical piece that keeps coming up. July 10th. A few voices are highlighting that date as tied to Iraq customs moving to electronic invoice verification, part of implementing what's being called the Sakuda Agreement, and also as a significant banking integration deadline connected to the Intercontinental Exchange financial system. The thinking is that once Iraq hits those technical milestones, the currency can move. Now look, we've been hearing the cabinet's almost done for a while. And the trip to Washington unlocks everything has been the refrain for weeks. So I'm not telling you to circle the 5th or the 10th on your calendar and expect your life to change. What I am saying is, this is the sequence the community is tracking. This is the chatter. And there is real legislative and diplomatic movement happening in Iraq. It may take longer than anyone hopes. It usually does. But the story is alive and things are moving. Just take it all with that grain of salt. The dee-nar comparisons, reserves, and the rate. Let's talk specifically about the Iraqi dee-nar. There's a line of thinking making the rounds that Iraq's economic trajectory right now looks a lot like Kuwait's did before that country's currency took off. Strong reserves, rebuilding infrastructure, cleaning up corruption, positioning for a major financial shift. The claim is that Iraq's central bank is sitting on close to $98 billion in foreign currency reserves and around $26 billion in gold. Serious backing for a currency. The dee-nar has been stuck around 1,310 to the dollar for more than 20 years, and the theory is that rate is about to be adjusted to reflect Iraq's actual economic strength. When? Nobody knows. But the comparison to Kuwait, whose currency moved from about 30 cents to 347 during the 1991 conflict, is one the community keeps coming back to. Again, this is educated speculation and historical pattern matching, not a guarantee. But it's why people are still here, still watching, still hopeful. The dong and the zim. The Vietnamese dong has been pretty quiet in the chatter this week. No major news, no new dates. That usually means people are waiting on other dominoes to fall first, particularly Iraq. The Zimbabwean zim, there is a story worth mentioning. Word is Zimbabwe's newer currency, the Zimbabwean gold, or ZIG, has appreciated to about 3 cents per US dollar within the last year, thanks to government reforms and economic stabilization. And there's chatter that Zimbabwe's turnaround could be a model for how Iraq handles the dee-nar. Reforms first, then currency strength follows. Today's outlook. What to actually watch. All right, so where does that leave us heading into the holiday weekend? Here's what I'm watching. Sunday, July 5th. Is Iraq's parliament actually convening to seat those final ministers? And does that happen cleanly? If it does, that's a real step forward. July 10th. That customs and banking deadline people keep mentioning. Does Iraq hit it? And does anything visibly change? And mid-July, that Washington trip. When it happens, what comes out of it? Does Trump and al-Zaidi announce anything concrete about the oil law or the currency? As for the restoration announcement today and year zero on Monday, look, we're tracking it because it's out there and people are talking about it. But I would not rearrange your weekend plans or check your bank account every hour expecting something to land. If the entire global financial system resets this weekend, trust me, you'll know. And if it doesn't, which historically is the safer bet, we'll be right here Monday morning sorting through what actually happened. One more thing. The app. And, hey, look, I just walked you through a dozen different threads this morning. Iraq's cabinet, the Washington trip, the 10th, the 15th, year zero, Kuwait comparisons, Zimbabwe's comeback, QFS chatter, dee-nar reserves, all of it. That's a lot to keep straight, and honestly, it's exactly why I built my whole morning around the app. Everything we just talked about, all of it, lives in one place, updated the moment it hits. 24/7, anytime you want it. You're not thumbing through a dozen feeds trying to piece it together. It's just there. And here's the thing, you didn't have to wait for me to tell you any of this. If you'd turned on free notifications for Iraq or the dee-nar or imminent timing claims, you'd have seen every one of these threads the second they landed. You pick the gurus you trust, the currencies you care about, the kinds of claims you want to see, and ignore the rest. It's free, it's clean, and honestly, it's the only way I stay sane tracking all this stuff. Head over to GCRSentinel.com and grab it free. Download it right from the site. It's coming to the app stores soon, but for now, the website's the place. VIP membership is free right now too, which gets you the deeper alerts. Worth grabbing while it is. And one more thing coming soon. VIP member Q&A. You'll be able to send in your questions and I'll answer them right here on the show. Sign off. All right, my friends, that's where we stand this Friday morning. Big chatter, a few real dates to watch, and a whole lot of we'll see. Take the weekend, enjoy your people, maybe keep one eye on the news, but don't let any of this eat your holiday. We've been at this a while, and the story keeps developing. We're in it for the long haul, and we're in it together. I'm Truman Vale. I'll see you back here Monday morning, or sooner if something big actually lands. Until then, stay hopeful, stay smart, and for heaven's sake, stay cool out there. Happy 4th.